I'm on the banks of Burnt Fork Creek in DeKalb County, Georgia. A quick video about invasive species. You can see right here there are banana trees and elephant ears that have washed down from someone's yard. So be aware that anything you put in your yard, you're going to distribute, in the case of Georgia, for hundreds of miles. Whatever invasive plant you might put in your yard can spread to the banks of creeks. It's something to be concerned about, I would think. Anyway, we're on South Peachtree Creek Trail. It's a beautiful boardwalk over mostly marshy area. Great habitat for ducks and turtles and raccoons and things like that. But there are invasive plants galore here. Sorry about the sun, although it's very dramatic. What you're seeing here is some trees that are under siege by kudzu. I did cut most of that kudzu a couple days ago, so they're starting to wilt. But kudzu unchecked can probably kill a tree in maybe as quickly as 6 years. It'll take a while for it to fall, but then it starts opening up a sunny area, and then the trees all around it. The one tree topples, and then maybe 5 topple, and then maybe 20 topple. And so in a window of time that isn't all that long, you can lose a whole neighborhood's worth of trees. We'll walk back into I would guess I'd call this a privet ruin. Privet hedges are, these are Chinese privet, not the ornamental ligustrums you'll buy. They completely shade out any understory plants that are native. I'll give you another glimpse of a kudzu vine here. There's 3 of them there that I cut. They come off of this long trunk that runs about 10 feet that way. The kudzu can grow and survive on top of the privet. It eventually will kill the privet, and it will kill the trees. The privet probably doesn't kill the trees, but does create an environment where there's not enough food to support even rabbits and things like that. There are still some native plants. This, I believe, is a Cherokee rose, struggling to put a runner out, but it does have a foothold up on the top of the canopy above the privets. There's some of its leaves. The privets either leave an area that really has no plants, or in some areas there will be a large number of very tiny privets just ready to hop up if sunlight allows. This is a kudzu vine that is about 5 years old. Kind of hard to read the rings exactly. You can't cut that with this, but you can with a saw. It's very soft, fibrous. It's not like a tree. With one of those, you can go back and cut one of these down in less than 2 minutes. And you're not going to kill it, probably, unless you go to a lot of effort. But if someone does it twice a decade at least, the trees won't die. Now we'll go through here, and we're going to get into the area where the English ivy. I got to get around this rose here, yeah. So this area is disturbed because there's a sewer line through here, which exacerbates the problem. Anytime there's disturbed land, the native plants will jump in, but generally speaking, the invasive plants are quicker. Now this tree is under assault by the English ivy, but there's also a poison ivy vine that is running up it, and that is beneficial to wildlife. So you may not want to cut the poison ivy, at least from the standpoint of feeding animals and birds. The ivy is, trees struggle to grow to full height when they're living in the ivy, because the ivy grows right up the tree and smothers it, before it reaches maturity. And the ivy will grow up the mature trees and strangle them, throttle the trunk, create an environment where beetles and bugs and things can get into it, and also just increase the weight of the tree so that it's more likely to topple in the storm. Now there's a sycamore that you can't really tell, but there's There's grapevines, which are native to this area and generally don't kill trees, but it's also covered in ivy, and it's also got kudzu on it. The kudzu is wilted at this point because I cut it a couple days ago. So here's the sewer pipes. I guess if there's a lesson here, if you please don't plant English ivy. You may love it. It utterly destroys environments until you, English ivy is a good habitat for bugs, and a good habitat for snakes, and a good habitat for rats. Not much else can live here. And you can see by these trees, without some help, they'll all be throttled. They probably, you know, it'll take a while for it to kill them, but ivy is a terminal thing the same way that kudzu is.